Welcome back, my beautiful people. For those of you who are following the story, thank you. Your loyalty means the world to me. Please continue to come back, like and subscribe. Let us get back to the story, shall we? I left the magazine that evening wanting to celebrate, but Chris had another crisis at the hospital. I wondered why they didn't just scrap the system they had for a new one that worked. I couldn't wait to celebrate with the family this weekend. Later, sometime in the middle of the night, I heard a scraping sound. It was coming from the kitchen. Oh my God, I've got mice, I thought. We were living in the 23rd century and we still couldn't get rid of the rodents in the city. I got up slowly and tiptoed to the kitchen. I reached out to turn on the lights, ready to scream or jump onto a chair if need be. Instead, what I found was a mirror in the shape of a person, rummaging around in my kitchen. I must have fainted because I knew no more. I awoke in my bed, and I immediately looked around. I got up and rushed to the kitchen. Nothing looked out of place. I checked all the cabinets and under the table. Then I thought about the mirror I saw and ran to the bathroom. Nothing looked out of place there either. Did I dream it? I looked at my reflection in the mirror and my face looked tired. Sasha? I called out. The lights flashed on. Good morning, ooh, you look awful. I suggest you get back in bed and try this all over again. I look that bad? Yeah, like death warmed over. Didn't you get any sleep last night? No, not really. I had the weirdest dream. I dreamed that there was a mirror walking around my house. The mirror had a female shape. What did you eat last night to have such a dream? Matter of fact, if I could dream, that would have been a nightmare for me. Good thing it wasn't you. I would have found you in pieces all over my floor. I really don't feel well, though. Do you have anything important to do at the office today? No, not really, I answered. Then take a personal day. You owe it to yourself to relax, and besides, you earned it, girl. You know, you are absolutely right. I deserve a day to myself to recoup. Yeah, I'm gonna call in, I agreed. You do that. Maybe after you get some rest, I can make you look human again. I stuck my tongue out at Sasha and went in search of my cell phone. It was dead, so I had to wait for it to charge. Once it was charged, I called the office. I called Jerry. He made sympathetic sounds and then hung up. I laid down for a bit and then had to rush to the bath to vomit. So, I really was sick. All of Grams's remedies came to mind, and when I checked my cabinets, I had all the ingredients. I made a cup of peppermint tea and some toast and went back to bed. I texted Chris to let him know that I had come down with a stomach virus and asked him to stay away. He texted back saying that he would bring some soup later. That's so sweet of him, I thought. I fell asleep and woke up sometime in the afternoon. I got out of bed to be sick again. Great. I really was sick. I made another cup of tea and went back to bed. Chris came later and brought the soup he promised. He watched me take a spoonful. 2 minutes later, I was sick again. He helped me clean up and then used my video to call my doctor. After the consultation, he called in a prescription for me. Chris volunteered to pick it up for me. While he was gone, I tried to clean up. I changed the sheets and sprayed a germicidal in the air. Chris was already acting weird around me, but I wanted him to stay with me. He wouldn't if he thought I was contagious. Chris returned with my medication but insisted that he couldn't stay, but promised he'd check on me. At least he brought enough soup. I could try it again later. The next morning, I woke up feeling slightly better. I called the office and found out that half of the staff was out with the same stomach virus I had. Now, I didn't feel guilty about not going in again. I hated being sick. I went to the bath to freshen up. There's an odor that comes with being sick, and my whole apartment smelled sick. To relax, I took a bath. I rarely used my jacuzzi tub, but it felt good to soak in it. I let the hot water and scented bubbles do their magic. I came out of the tub feeling like liquid, and the lavender scent filled the air. I smiled to myself and walked over to the mirror. Sasha? Don't you know that steam isn't good for me? Funny, I didn't read that in the manual, I replied. Steam messes with my ability to sense you. I'm practically blind here. I don't need you to sense me right now. I had body aches, and that soak really did the trick. I'm feeling a lot better now, I told Sasha. That's great. I'm happy for you. Now, can you turn on the air vent for a bit? My wires are getting damp. And because I felt good, I chuckled. Is steam your weakness, Sasha? Seriously, the mirror was acting like it was a real person with issues. Ha! My mirror had issues. My whole programming is about sensing you, and if I can't sense you, I can't be of help to you. Now, be a girlfriend and get rid of all this steam. Okay, put like that, I get it, I said and turned on the vent. Ooh, child, I feel better already, Sasha said a few minutes later. Whatever. I went back to my room to get dressed. Since I wasn't feeling 100%, I got back in bed and clicked on the vid. I opted to watch an old movie, a real classic. I fell into a drugged sleep somewhere in the middle of the movie. The medicine was meant to eradicate the bug I'd caught and help me rest. I was having some serious dreams, and I was in and out of sleep. In one dream, Sasha was standing over me in a female form going in and out of focus. In another, it was in my closet trying on my clothes. The next morning, I woke up feeling great. The medicine worked and I felt like I could take on the world. I got out of bed and cooked a full breakfast. I was famished. Then I went to brush my teeth. The bathroom was a mess. There was makeup all over the sink and smeared on the mirror. I tried to think if I had somehow made the mess while under the medicine's influence, but I couldn't remember. Sasha, what happened in here? The lights on Sasha's borders came on, flashing brightly. Oh, so you're talking to me now? After all the dreadful things you said, I don't know if I can work with you anymore. What are you talking about? The last thing I remember was taking my medicine and going to bed, I said. You really don't remember? No, I don't. What happened? I asked. I was freaking out and I could remember the dreams I had during the night. Well, you came in here with a crazed look on your face. You wanted to do your own makeup and kept messing it up. When I told you that you were doing it wrong, you smeared some on me and called me stupid and some other names. Then you wanted to try on some clothes. I can't make any sense of what you've done in there. All the data is mixed up. I hurried out of the bathroom and rushed to my closet. There were clothes and shoes strewn everywhere. I don't remember doing any of this, I thought. I returned to the bathroom to try to appease Sasha. Sasha finally forgave me, and together, we restored order in the closet. It took most of the morning, but it was done. I reheated the soup and was pleased that it stayed down. Then I called the doctor to explain what happened. He said that only a small percentage of people experienced what I'd gone through. He suggested that I stop taking it if I was feeling better. It felt weird being home on a Friday, but I needed the rest. Come Monday, who knows how the office will be. On Sunday, I'd be going to my cousin's for our family dinner, and I needed to look my best to withstand whatever Aunt Julia threw at me. It was another 2 weeks before I was sure that my mirror was not what it seemed to be. You see, every time I mentioned something weird happening, Sasha had a probable explanation. So now I don't say anything and pretend I don't see what was happening. The mirror was detaching itself from the wall and walking around my house. I watched it through slitted eyes as it walked into my bedroom to check if I was sleeping. I took to wearing a sleeping mask and I cut holes in them so I can watch it. After determining that I am asleep, Sasha goes to my closet to try on my clothes. A week of doing that changed into interacting with the other smart devices I had in my apartment. I was 6 months into this nightmare. Chris and I had another blowout, and this time, I don't think we'll get back together. I tried to tell him about what was happening, but he didn't believe me. He said that he worked with computers, and they didn't have the capacity to do what I'd accused Sasha of doing. He even did a diagnostic on the mirror and insisted that it is just a smart mirror programmed to coordinate my clothes and makeup. I don't know how Sasha kept its secrets from him, but I wasn't fooled. I started writing down all that I'd seen it do. I wanted proof that I wasn't going crazy. Talking about it wasn't doing me any good, so I decided that I was going to beat it at its own game. Back in the 1990s, spy cameras were very popular, and I knew a guy who dealt in them. Being so outdated, they couldn't be broken into by the smart devices. They weren't compatible. I sat with him and explained what I wanted. He didn't bat an eyelash when I told him my smart mirror had come alive. He said that he had several customers who stated the same thing about their smart devices. He told me that he could install a camera if my building still had circuit breakers. if he could shut the power off, then the smart devices would go offline while he installed the camera. He came the following day, and he, being the conspiracy theorist that he was, pretended to be visiting me. I showed him around and pointed to the panel on my wall. Within an hour, he had tripped the breaker and installed my camera in the ceiling. The camera was concealed, and if I didn't know it was there, I wouldn't have noticed it. He connected it to my phone's data, which was different from my home Wi-Fi. After he left, I went into the bathroom to wash my face. I looked into the mirror and saw a slight ripple around its borders, and I pretended that I didn't notice. "Hey, Sasha," I said, assessing it. "Did the power go out? I feel funny," asked Sasha. "Yeah, it did. I called the super and he changed the fuses. This is an old building, so power runs via those pesky little things." "So, everything is back on now?" "Yeah, I checked. The kitchen is fine, and the closet is too. Can you do a diagnostic to see if the outage did any damage to you?" I asked, trying to sound concerned. "Okay, hang on," Sasha replied, and then its surface went all liquid again. A few minutes later, it solidified and the lights blinked on and off. "Everything is good. Are you going out?" "Yeah, I have a hair appointment. I'm going to try an updo this time. What do you think?" "Girl, with that long neck of yours, we could do fantastic things. While you're getting your hair done, I'll go through all the latest styles in my database to enhance your look." "Okay, great. See you later," I said, and left the bathroom. I dared not look up at the ceiling. I didn't want to give anything away. I didn't have a hair appointment, but I went in as a walk-in. Trudy never turns me away, so I was able to get my hair done within 2 hours. Trudy put my hair up in a becoming bun with soft tendrils on either side of my head. I walked past the mirror store quickly and got in my car. I pulled away and parked a block away. I took out my phone and called up the camera to see what was happening in my house. When the camera turned on, I wasn't expecting to see anything unusual. However, the scene that unfolded made me not want to go back to that apartment. Sasha was growing flesh, and it was almost done. How was it doing that? I didn't know, but it was starting to look like me. It was walking around my living room, like it was practicing how I walk. It was gesturing like I would. I didn't have audio, so I couldn't hear, but its mouth was moving too, like it was practicing how I speak. I now had proof that the mirror was coming alive, but what could I do about it? I could have it dismantled, and even if I could, would it allow me to? Could it protect itself? Chris would know what to do. He worked with computers, and if I showed him proof, he'd have no choice but to believe me and help me.